Roguelike games usually have a variety of currencies you can earn from your runs to upgrade various parts of your kit and make future runs easier. Hades is no exception, and you'll quickly be racking up various types of currencies that you may not know the immediate use for if you're a new player. I know very well that this feeling can be a bit overwhelming, and looking up guides as a beginner can definitely be risky as you may encounter spoilers, but I've got you covered. I won't even show or say what the first boss is, and all of my background footage will be from the first biome. This is going to be your spoiler-free guide to what each currency in the game is, what it's used for, and maybe a little advice on how to spend it. Part 1. Chamber Rewards. In this section, we'll be talking about currency you can earn from clearing regular enemy encounters during your escape attempts. First up, we have Darkness, which, in my opinion, is one of the most important currencies to prioritize collecting when you're first starting out. As a quick tip for collecting Darkness, you'll gather 20% more of it during your run if you happen to take a weapon that has a dark glow on it. If none of your weapons have the purple glow, don't worry, eventually it'll show up with enough runs. Darkness unlocks permanent upgrades and abilities at the Mirror of the Night in Zagreus' room. These are insanely strong buffs for Zagreus that you'll want if you plan to escape from the underworld. Some examples of these buffs include healing between encounters, more damage when striking foes from behind, and extra life. I highly suggest picking up the healing between chambers, extra dash, and extra life ones as soon as possible, but everything here at the mirror is useful and you'll want all of them eventually. But as you're claiming these abilities, you'll eventually hit a roadblock. You'll soon notice that the Mirror of the Night is hiding some things from you, and that's why, right alongside Darkness, you'll want to prioritize collecting Chthonic Keys. Chthonic Keys are extremely important early on as they allow you to unlock more abilities from the mirror, thus allowing you to spend more of that hard-earned darkness and make Zagreus even stronger. The more abilities you have, the more likely you are to get further in a run, and the more goodies you'll be able to acquire along the way. Alongside helping at the mirror, you can also use Chthonic Keys to unlock more weapons, or Infernal Arms, as Hades likes to call them. Having more weapons increases your gameplay variety and overall fun. It also allows you to earn more of the currency from defeating bosses that we will be covering later. So stock up on keys, and who knows, maybe your new favorite weapon and playstyle is just around the corner. Find a balance between spending them on weapons and unlocking mirror abilities if you can. Next up we have Gemstones, which can be redeemed at the House Contractor near dear old dad in the House of Hades for a few things. You can use Gemstones to unlock some cosmetic stuff, but I highly recommend holding off on buying anything cosmetic early on, as you'll mainly be wanting to use these to make the underworld a slightly more bearable place for Zagreus. You can pay Gemstones to have new chambers built that contain a healing fountain and no enemies whatsoever, nice break from all the chaos. You can also cause some urns to drop coins so you can stay stocked up, and make more purchases from Charon or the Well of Charon. Whenever you see a chamber upgrade you can afford with your Gemstones, definitely buy it right away. Don't worry about the pretty carpets and chairs until later. Running into these free healing fountain chambers during an attempt is not always guaranteed, but it always feels great when it does happen. Speaking of feeling great, all of the NPCs are going to be feeling great whenever you pass them a bottle of Nectar. Nectar can be shared with an NPC, one bottle per interaction, to deepen your bond with them. This can unlock some fun dialogue and more information about them within your journal. But more importantly, the first time you give Nectar to an NPC, you'll be given a keepsake in return. Keepsakes can be extremely valuable as they have strong effects intended to help you escape, so I definitely recommend spreading out your Nectar early on to collect as many keepsakes as possible. This will allow you to experiment and find the ones you like or don't like. Once you've got a good collection of keepsakes going, spend your Nectar as you see fit. Whether that's hard focusing one NPC you really like or continuing to spread them out somewhat evenly, you can never go wrong with gifting someone Nectar. Last up in the Chamber Rewards section, we have Charon's Obol, but I usually just call them coins myself. This currency is a bit unique because, unlike the rest, you actually drop all of it whenever you respawn at the House of Hades. The main purpose is for purchasing items from the Well of Charon or from Charon's shop to make your current run more successful. If given the choice between Charon's Obol and another currency early on, I definitely recommend choosing one of the other currencies from this section until you've unlocked a good amount of permanent upgrades and feel like making a serious escape attempt. Since the coins are not permanent, don't stress too much about earning coins to power yourself up at the shop temporarily. Dying is totally okay in this game, so early on, it's better to try again after taking one of the currencies that offer more permanent benefits. Part 2. Bounties. Bounties are a bit different from the previous section in that they are always guaranteed to drop after defeating a boss of a particular biome for the first time with any given weapon. Switching to a new weapon will allow you to claim another bounty from the same boss, and you won't be able to claim any more bounties on that boss from the same weapon until you unlock a certain endgame feature I won't spoil here. Make sure not to trade away any of these bounty currencies early on into your playthrough, otherwise you'll have a lot of regret when you see what they're for and how much you'll need. I'll be going in the order that you'll see these bounty rewards, and that means first up we have Titan's Blood, which is dropped by the boss in Biome 1. Titan's Blood is one of the most valuable currencies in the game, but you won't find out what it does until you've unlocked a good amount of weapons with those Cthonic Keys from earlier. I won't say too much to avoid spoilers, but just know it'll be for improving your weapons in some way. The second bounty currency you'll encounter is the diamond, dropped by the boss of Biome 2. If memory serves, this is one of the weaker bounty rewards, especially compared to what Titan's Blood can do, but you can spend these at the house contractor similar to gemstones for some chamber improvements or even just some cosmetic things. These are basically fancy gemstones and are still pretty helpful. Don't feel bad if you want to spend them on something cosmetic early on. Last up, the final bounty currency you can find in Hades is Ambrosia. Ambrosia does not make its usefulness apparent in the early game, but it's very useful to hang on for the late game. You'll probably stock up on quite a few bottles before being able to use them. After giving enough nectar to any given NPC, they'll eventually decide they're too good for that cheap stuff and only accept a fancy bottle of Ambrosia. This is how you max out your relationship with that given NPC, and you're going to need a lot of bottles. Additionally, Ambrosia bottles are used to power up a hidden mechanic that can aid your escape attempts that I won't spoil here, but just know it has something to do with maxed out relationships. And that's it. That's every currency in Hades 1. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, maybe you learned something, and I wish you the best of luck in your escape attempts. Please let me know if there's anything I missed, or if you have any other questions. If there's any videos or guides you'd like to see in the future, please let me know in the comments. And don't forget, there's no escape.